Thanks for selling your car to Carvana. Here's your check.
Whoa, when did I get here?
What do you mean?
I swear it was just moments ago that I accepted a great offer from Carvana online. I must have time traveled to the future.
It was just moments ago. We do same-day pickup. Here's your check for that great offer.
It is the future.
It's the present and just the convenience of Carvana. Sorry to blow your mind.
It's all good. Happens all the time.
Sell your car the convenient way to
Carvana.
Pickup times may vary and fees may apply.
Welcome back to Used to Sew, a podcast about sewing machines, sewing history, and sewing culture in the past and present. I am your producer and co-host Aradia, daughter of your main host, T.R. Kelly, who is here today to talk to you about the Sewing Machine Song, Part 2. Last week, we covered the first half of T.R.'s classic folk song in meticulous detail, and this week we will be picking the story up and carrying it to the finish line. We will continue to see that the purpose of this podcast was percolating in her song 30 years ago, and see a snapshot of what life was like for us at that time. We will touch on how labor has always been and continues to be a huge part of the clothing industry, the economics of where these machines end up, and the more spiritual side of metal machines. I hope you enjoy the tear-jerking half of this song, and our discussion afterwards. As a quick refresher on the story, in case you forgot in the week since the first half was released, a new Singer sewing machine spent 70 years sewing in 2 generations of a family in Oregon, and then went to auction and was sold for a pittance because people didn't sew much anymore. We were left on the cliffhanger of wondering what this buyer wanted from our hero, and now we pick it up on the next line.
You tore apart my treadle works, added a motor and a light. No more gentle rhythms, I work full speed day and night. Run by scared young women, a long, long way from home. Stitch the same seam 1,000 times a day, work the fingers to the bone. Oh, the joy went out of living, to be used this way. To feel their desperation, to run hard every day. So I jammed myself, I would not turn. He cursed and raged and swore, and he ripped me from my table and he dropped me on the floor. Stripped off the motor and the light and carried me outside to the junk heap in the alley where he threw me on my side. Months passed, I began to rust, some ice lived in my works, and I knew my life was over after 90 years on earth. Till one day someone found me, forgotten and alone. And the way she touched my rusty wheel, I knew I'd found a home. She hauled me to her cabin in a funky neighborhood, where simple living's valued, I'd be loved and understood. How she put me in a treadle stand, coaxed my wheel to turn. I felt her joy in caring, her interest and concern. She cleaned me and she oiled me, showed me off to all her friends. Repaired the hurts of years of use, made me sew again. The sun warms my shiny ironwork, a catnap's on my stand. I'm threaded up and ready, fabric basket close at hand. In the quiet of the evening, when the little house is clean, she makes clothing for her babies on this Singer's sewing machine. Oh, she's smiling as she's sewing a little dress of velveteen. I'm a piece of living history, I'm a Singer sewing machine.
Okay, last week we started on the Sewing Machine Song. We got through the first half of it, talked about how the machine was built and shipped and used and went through the family line and then wound up at an auction in 1969. And then it was bought by a guy for only $5, and he stuffed it in a shed with a bunch of other ones. And we were left with a question. Is he a collector? I hope so. He wouldn't be a scrapper. He would just throw it out in the yard. He said, why is it in him? Ooh, so now we're going to find out what happened to our singer 1530. I got to do it with the guitar this time. The ukulele was too confusing. Start again with he jammed me in a long tin shed with others just like me. Rows and rows of obsolete black Singer sewing machines. Uh-oh, here we go. He tore apart my treadle works, added a motor and a light. What? A motor and a light?
Ew. Boo. Not correct.
Electricity! Oh, no.
I mean, I do want the light, but the motor seems like a bit much.
He tore off the treadle, the light, and a motor. Okay, we didn't say what kind of motor. So, let's just say it's a big one, because now we're going to find out what happens next. No more gentle rhythms. I work full speed day and night. Zzz, with all that electricity, which is on all the time. Run by scared young women a long, long way from home. Stitch the same theme 1,000 times a day. Work their fingers to the bone. Oh, crikey.
Oof.
Running a sweatshop.
Oof.
With immigrant labor.
That's a line that fits in any era. 1899,
Does.
1999.
Does.
Doesn't matter. There's immigrant women being exploited in a fucking sweatshop. That's as American as apple pie.
Oh, geez. It's true. I mean, from early on, I mean, everybody knows the triangle shirtwaist fire. In the past 10 years, there's been so many sweatshop fires and collapses over in places like India and Bangladesh and other countries where unregulated sweatshops are still a thing.
Yep.
I heard of one where a guy bought an old department store, packed it full of sewing machines. He didn't take into account that sewing machines are heavy.
Oh.
So he's got this factory full of heavy machines and people running them, and it just collapsed.
Wow.
I can't remember how many folks died in that, but sweatshops, and they're a thing here in the United States, too.
Yeah.
Like, this is not, he didn't ship this machine over. I mean, there's plenty of undocumented and otherwise exploited people in this country, women, because sewing is a women's job, and the bosses of these places are usually men. So this guy's running a sweatshop. He bought a bunch of old machines. That's another thing. He's bought old machines, hooked motors up to him. He's running them in a tin shed with a lot of scared women who are stitching the same thing over and over again. He's running a sweatshop.
And probably a fire hazard at that, with all the old machines getting wired up.
Yeah, he's not buying brand new Juki and Conso equipment here. He's using old Singers, which, going back to the fact this is the model 1530, and it was manufactured for household and light industrial use, he could do this. I mean, he shouldn't, but he did. He could.
Right, yeah, it was possible to do.
Now, this machine had been 70 years of being loved and sewn on. It's kind of an energy battery. It's got a lot of good vibes in it, and it's not liking this at all. The joy went out of living, to be used this way, to feel their desperation, to run hard every day. So I jammed myself, I would not turn. He cursed and raged and swore, and he dropped me from a table, dropped me on the floor. Well now, the machine says, I don't think so.
Not today, bitch.
And since he didn't buy a whole lot of brand new Juki and Brother and Casso machines, he's not going to spend money for a mechanic. He just picks it up, throws it out on the heap with the other ones. He's going to go back to that auction and probably buy some more. The machine fought back.
Yeah. I love that the machine has that soul. You know, I was traumatized by the Brave Little Toaster, like all good millennial children were.
Oh, God.
You know, like appliances have personalities. And I just love that this one like fought back in the way that it was able to. Like, I will not assist you in the exploitation of these scared young women. I will not be a part of this, whatever it costs, even if it is being ripped out of the table and thrown out to the rust.
By this time, when I wrote the song in 1995, I had been subjected to many years of the Brave Little Toaster.
Yeah, that was kind of in your consciousness for sure.
Yes. So, you know, that's what artists do. We gather up all the bits and put them together new ways. So, yeah, the idea of, well, you know, my car is 62, 63 years old, and it's definitely got a soul. And I think that machinery and homes and places, they pick up human residue.
Yeah.
So this machine had been happy, and now it's in this situation. It says, I don't think so. Jammed itself, got thrown out. Stripped off the motor and the light and carried me outside to a junk heap in the alley where he threw me on my side. Months passed, I began to rust. Mice lived in my works, and I knew my time was over after 90 years on Earth. I wrote this in my notes. You know, like the Tin Man in Oz, a sewing machine left outside is going to turn into a corroded mess. We need some of that sperm oil. We need some oil.
But, like, you know, it's made out of all metal because it's from 1899. So, like, there's still good metal under all that rust.
Exactly. I've seen some really extreme... Well, I've done some really extreme restorations of the 1873 boot stitcher that I'm working on. Was a completely locked up, corroded mess when I got it.
Oh yeah, I remember you posted a video of some gunk getting blown out of that during the process of restoration.
These can be fixed. It can still be fixed. It's the only way you can really truly kill a sewing machine is to drop it so hard that the casting breaks and things get, you know, once the bed's broke and nothing can ever be lined up again. But here it is, and there's mice in it. No. You remember that story I told at Halloween with mice?
Yeah, so this is an example of that, but outdoors. This is mice living in that little boxy area underneath and all the gears. Ooh, mice.
Which is funny is because I didn't have the experience with mice in a machine until about 4 more years after this song was written.
Well, the vibes were there. I mean, you could tell.
Oh, yeah. But then here comes the happy part. Okay, I got to take a sip of tea for this. We're getting to the good part. Where the story turns around. The hero is found. Till one day someone found me, forgotten and alone. And the way she touched my rusty wheel, I knew I'd found a home. She hauled me to her cabin in a funky neighborhood, where simple living's valued and be loved and understood. Now this is the part that somebody has lifted and put on their Vintage Sewing Machine channel on YouTube. And it was kind of weird to hear. It's like, wait, that's my song. They only used that one verse, which is cool because it's like the rescue verse. But here it is. Someone found me forgotten and alone. And the way she touched my rusty wheel, I knew I'd found a home. Well, that's because the machine's still alive under all that rust. He can feel, this person knows. They care. Some like alley scrounging, tinkering, weird hippie person.
Yeah.
Hauled me to her cabin in a funky neighborhood. Well, the person that copied this changed funky to Amish, which is weird.
I mean, there's definitely some Amish components in the alternative hippie lifestyle, but it's not Amish.
No. So you hauled me to a cabin in a funky neighborhood where simple living's valued, I'd be loved and understood. And well, of course, it's the funky part of town. There's a guy running an illegal sweatshop down the alley there.
Sure.
I've always pictured this as Whitaker in Eugene.
That would make sense.
Which is where we lived at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
There was a lot of big old tin buildings with questionable commercial ventures going on, and it was definitely a funky, poor neighborhood, and lots of sewing machines and cats and quilts and things like that. She put me in that treadle stand, coaxed my wheel to turn. I felt her joy and caring and her interest and concern. She cleaned me and she oiled me, showed me off to all her friends. Repaired the hurts of years of use and let me sew again. Oh, I'm so happy. So obviously this is a DIY vintage sewing machine buff because already has a spare treadle stand laying there.
Yeah.
Already knows what to do. Obviously this song is getting autobiographical at this point.
Maybe just slightly. But it's, like you had the fake VSM enthusiast who had scrounged it for $5 at an auction who turned out to suck. And now you have a real vintage sewing machine enthusiast who has a spare treadle stand just sitting around waiting for a machine to come into it.
Oh, yeah. Value. I mean, there's so many stands have been separated from their machine heads. A lot of people make those stands into tables and blah, blah, blah. But by then the treadle stuff's usually gone. VSM people having spare treadle stands. I think I've got 4 empty treadle stands at home right now. And one of them's going to be for you. You get your head back.
Right, yeah. Because one was a table in my sewing room, but then we got those big shelves, so the table got to leave. But yeah, supposedly it's going to turn back into a treadle stand, which would be awesome because I would totally use it.
Awesome.
Every 3 years when I sew.
Oh, yeah. So we're back to the cleaning and oiling. So she knows what to do to this machine. And show it off to all her friends. Just like
100 years
the
ago.
original
Yeah,
owner
totally.
did.
Or nearly 100 years ago.
Repaired all the hurts of years of use. Just got it all clean and the crud out of the feed dog, a little oil here and there.
Right. You can't repair the decals, but you can at least clean off the grunge.
Oh, but you can.
That's true. That's true.
In 1995, you couldn't, but now you can.
That's true. Right.
I get my decal sets from this person in Australia who's really good. Okay, now the really best part. We're back to the machine is fully functional. The sun warms my shiny ironwork. A cat naps on my stand. But I'm threaded up and ready. Fabric basket close at hand. Right where the machine should be. In the middle of the living room, ready to go. Part of the family, ready to work.
With a cat on it. So appropriate for being in the middle of the family.
It's got to have a
And
cat.
yes, can attest, so many cats. So many cats.
There were many cats. And also, this is the antidote to those mice that were in there.
Oh,
earlier, right?
yeah.
Very
No
subtle.
more mice in my work. So there's a cat sleeping on me. I got guards.
There's a cat. I'm protected now. I'm safe.
I hadn't even noticed that. Oh, that's such a sweet twist. I'd never noticed that in all my years of hearing the song. That's perfect.
I never sussed out that meaning until I sat down and did the line by line here. It was like surprises even for the author when a song comes through that fast. In the quiet of the evening, when the little house is clean, she makes clothing for her babies on this singer and sewing machine. Full circle, right back to
Yep.
right back to
That's
the
what this
beginning, just
machine
like
is
Mom
for.
was doing.
This machine is for making clothes for the family.
And she's smiling as she's sewing a little dress of velveteen on the piece of living history on the singer sewing machine. Now that little dress of velveteen was what you wore to your first Christmas down in Santa Cruz.
Aw, that specific dress for my first Christmas. I would have been a very small baby for my first Christmas.
Yes, you were. You were months old, and you had this adorable little velveteen emerald dress that I did all kinds of fancy lace work and stuff around the neck and stuff. Yeah. And when we showed up to Christmas and you're in your little velveteen thing and everybody's like, oh,
Just cherubic baby in velvet.
oh gosh. And that machine, let's see, what did I make that on? I think that was an old 201. I've had so many machines, but it's like, oh, what did I sew that on? I remember.
That's so great.
The one that went zzz.
I just love that this song circles back around to making clothing for kids specifically. Like that's what it started out doing, was like a new family with like little kids, and then one of those little kids grew up to be the machine sewer herself, and then its second life in its retirement is back to making clothes for little kids. Like that's where I'm happy.
Oh my gosh. Wouldn't it be cool if the song had managed to make the daughter when the girl became a wife, and then she had a kid, and that was this person who finds the machine later? I wouldn't quite know how to get that in there, but we can think that it might have been.
You can headcanon that. We're gonna leave that for the headcanon.
Headcanon, yeah. One of Ma's nieces or something winds up being that little repair person.
Well, because like the original machine, very first thing that ever happened to it was it got shipped out to Oregon. The whole story happens out in Western Oregon. Like there's no like continent hopping, state swapping, like none of that. Like just the whole story takes place in Oregon.
Yeah. All the locations, as I was writing the thing, the auction that's up on Highway 99.
Right.
I mean, I know where all these places are.
Yeah.
I bought a machine there myself once. Not for $5 though.
So there you have it, audience. Proof that TR has been on this train of thought about sewing machines and loss of skills and planned obsolescence and reduce, reuse, repair and anti-fast fashion. She's been thinking about this for 30 plus years. Here is the proof.
30. Oh, yeah, even more. But this song did crystallize for me all the issues. I'd been out of the sewing machine business for a while. I was still fixing them for people, just like in my funky neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And somebody's like, hey, can you find me a treadle? Sure. But the whole big picture of sewing machines and textiles and fast fashion and factories, I mean, I saw the decline of home sewing just in my short time in the business, and all that stuff just came together in my brain and made this song. And of all the 60 or 70 songs I have up online on all the streaming services and everything, Meow Blah, etc., this one makes half my money.
Wow.
Of all my royalties and sales is this song. And I've had a couple fan letters about it, people that want to, hey, can I play this in my quilt guild? I'm like, yes, please, learn it. It's 3 chords. And that's another thing I want to do with it here, is chart it out for people that do want to learn how to play it on guitar. It's not hard. It's a folk song. Key of G, 12 verses. The original recording, I was leaping my voice all over the place back then because I could, but you certainly don't have to. The way I was doing it today is much calmer. You don't even need a whole octave. It's kind of more of a talking song in places. So don't let my yodely oodly oodly oo in the original one stop you from doing it. You certainly don't have to do it that way.
Yeah.
A fiddle solo would be good though.
I love it as just, the ability to just have it be a folk song that it's got like a treadling rhythm or a walking rhythm, right? Like, because it's a folk song. It is a quintessential folk song where it's easy, it's repetitive, and it tells a story rather than just repeating verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. Like the music part is repetitive, but the story part keeps moving. And that just makes it it's part of the folk tradition. It's part of the folk canon. And it tells a quintessential story of so many pieces of American history all rolled into one iconic machine. And it really is, the predecessor to this entire podcast in so many ways.
I just want to put in one more thing, because I know there's a lot of different people listening to this podcast. Every audience I have played this song for, from first graders to headbangers, to folkies, to rockers, people at the country fair, all the old folks down here at the boondocking space, everybody loves this song. I always start out saying, is there a sewing machine in your house? Was there a sewing machine in your mom's house? And pretty soon hands start coming up. And do you know how to use a sewing machine? Or I just say, there's a song about my favorite household appliance. And people are like, what? Not your love life or a political issue?
How autistic are you?
And I always do it really conversationally, I came off of the assembly line in 18... I want to make sure everybody gets the story. The music is just kind of help you groove along with it, but the story is the important part, not how you sing it or whatever. So Yeah, I want to come up with an easy downloadable sheet music so you can learn how to play this song. Even if you don't go in your sewing room and use your sewing machine, you can sing about it.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely post it on the website when you get that figured out.
Yeah.
I'll probably amend the show notes for this episode to include that information once it exists.
No, I think I will do it this afternoon, and so you can put it up.
Excellent.
Because I already have all these lyrics written out, then it's just a matter of putting the chord.
Yeah, you should definitely do that, and we can include that with these episodes, because I do imagine that we have one or two people in the audience who might possibly want to learn, because it's a really adorable song.
Yeah.
And if you can get through it without crying, congratulations. You're better than us.
Oh, my God. I breaking it up line by line, I could do it. But even now, every time I get to that part, in the quiet of the evening when the little house is quiet.
Every time. Every time. I was reading the lyrics when you sent them to me and I was tearing up. It's just like, God damn it. God damn it. It's so good.
Yeah. You know, like I said, I didn't write this. I'm an artist, which means my brain is a vacuum that soaks in all kinds of pieces and brings them back out again. I'm a synthesizer. You know, no artist is completely original. We all draw on our lives to tell a new story. So this is my song. I wrote this song, but this song wrote itself through me.
Right, yeah.
See what I'm saying? That's folk music.
Yeah, it came through you. You get copyright insofar as those things matter, but like it wrote itself.
It's really cool. And if anybody, if that person who was using a piece of it on their website just asked me permission, I'm not going to charge anybody to use it. I think, yes, please do. But, yeah, that'll happen. For now, go look at your sewing machine and listen to its stories. Because they all have them.
They do.
Just like you. Stay threaded.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Stay threaded. And there you have it. The second half of our line-by-line discussion of TR's Sewing Machine song. We covered the song of our hero machine from the 1960s to the 1990s, following its harrowing journey through an illegal sweatshop, into a junk heap, and finally into a loving home, where it could be restored to its original purpose. As I said last time, I'm not an aficionado of the folk music genre, so I'm not an authority by any means when I say this, but to me, this is the most quintessential of folk songs. Like in form, in format. Extremely personal story, speaks about larger issues, easy to musically grasp. This is a story about the world I exist in, and it makes that world make a little more sense. That's one of the main points of all art, in my not so humble opinion. And I love that my little baby self manages to, have a cameo in it. Next week, we will still be telling you a music-related, adjacent story. But we will be shifting from T.R. Kelly herself to Patsy Cline. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, then be sure to tune in next week, Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, in Patreon and on your podcast app of choice. As a reminder, we are unofficially sponsored by Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing Machine, who do repairs and restorations. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and you can support us by sharing the podcast with your friends, and also with money, at patreon.com/used2sew. Thank you for listening to us here at Used to Sew. We always welcome your additions, corrections, and feedback in general. Please reach out to us via email at usedtosew@gmail.com. Used to Sew is a production of Fox and Raven Media. For more podcasts from Fox and Raven Media, visit our website at foxandravenmedia.com.